I used to wonder why I felt so drained, until I realized it wasn't just my body that was tired. It was the clutter in my home, the noise in my mind, and the never-ending routines stealing my peace. If you're feeling the same, you're not alone. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through simple, realistic ways to clear your space, calm your thoughts, and reclaim your time, one small change at a time. This is your chance to feel lighter, more in control, and finally breathe easier after 60. If you've ever looked around your home or your life and felt like everything is just too much, you're not alone. After 60, life is supposed to slow down. But instead of peace, many of us are surrounded by growing piles of clutter, endless to-dos, and a mind that rarely rests. It's not your fault. It's just years of buildup, physically and mentally. But here's the truth. A simpler life is still possible, and it doesn't require a big move or a full makeover. Just small, intentional changes that bring clarity, calm, and freedom starting today. In this video, I'll guide you through 3 areas that can quietly shape how you feel every day, your surroundings, your inner world, and your daily habits. These are the spaces where clutter hides and where peace begins. Each step I'll share is simple, stress-free, and tailored for this stage of life. You won't need to overhaul your home or change who you are. You'll just need a few quiet moments and a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. Because after 60, life should feel lighter, not heavier. 1. Declutter your home. Start where you stand. Let's start where you are. Not in the attic, not in the basement, not in the garage filled with boxes you haven't opened in 10 years. Start with what's right in front of you. Maybe it's the nightstand next to your bed, the kitchen catch-all drawer, or that one shelf you glance at every day, but avoid because it just feels overwhelming. You don't need to prepare. You don't need fancy bins or organizers. You don't even need a full afternoon. What you need is 10 quiet minutes and a little bit of permission to let go. Here's how I do it, and how you can too. Step 1. Choose one small space. This isn't about conquering your whole house. This is about reclaiming one corner of your world. A space that greets you daily and quietly affects how you feel. That might be the drawer where you toss your keys and mail, or the basket of mismatched chargers. Maybe even the top of your dresser that's become a landing zone for, I'll deal with it later. Step 2. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Yes, only 10. Why? Because small efforts are sustainable, and they're surprisingly effective. Tell yourself, when the timer goes off, I stop. You'll be amazed at how freeing it feels to focus on a single task, with a clear ending in sight. No pressure, no marathon. Step 3. Touch everything and be honest. Ask yourself, is this expired? Is it broken? Have I used this in the last year? Does it still serve me? Or is it just taking up space and energy? If you're holding on to something just because you might need it someday, or because it once belonged to someone you love, pause and ask yourself, is this object helping me remember, or is it holding me back? Now, here's the part one didn't expect when I started doing this. You'll find things you forgot existed. I once found an envelope tucked behind some old receipts. Inside, a faded postcard my granddaughter sent me when she was 10. I hadn't seen it in over a decade. It stopped me in my tracks, and I realized decluttering isn't about throwing everything away. It's about creating space to rediscover what truly matters. We don't just find objects, we find memories. And sometimes, we find a piece of ourselves. Step 4. Take a photo before and after. I know this might sound silly, but try it. Take a quick picture of the space before you start. Then take another when you finish your 10-minute session. You don't have to show anyone, but you will see clearly how your small effort created a visible change. And that's powerful, because once you see that result, something shifts in your mind. You realize this isn't as hard as it seemed. You feel capable again, and that little burst of confidence, it spills over into the next drawer, into the way you organize your day, into the way you talk to yourself. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Decluttering isn't just cleaning up, it's clearing space to breathe. It's a gentle way of telling yourself, I deserve a space that feels good. And over time, those small 10-minute wins add up to something big. A calmer home, a clearer mind, a life that feels just a little more yours again. So if you've been putting it off because it felt too overwhelming, don't start big. Just start where you are. Set the timer. Let go of what no longer serves you, and be open to what you might find, both around you and within you. Because after 60, peace isn't a luxury. It's something you've earned. And it can begin with one drawer, one shelf, or one quiet decision to let go. 2. Declutter your mind. Quiet the noise. Let's talk about a different kind of clutter. The kind you can't see, but you feel every single day. I'm talking about the mental clutter, those running thoughts, quiet worries, lingering regrets, and all the unfinished checklists swirling through your mind like a storm that never settles. Even when the house is quiet, your thoughts can feel loud. Memories from years ago, conversations you replay, things you wish you'd done differently, people you miss. It builds up quietly over time, and it weighs us down in ways we don't always recognize. After 60, most people expect their minds to slow down a little. But for many of us, the opposite happens. With fewer distractions, more time, and a lifetime of experiences behind us, we suddenly find ourselves thinking too much. That's why mental decluttering is just as important, if not more, than clearing out drawers and closets. You don't need a therapist or a big breakthrough. You just need a pen, a few quiet minutes, and a simple daily habit that gently clears the mental fog. Here's what I started doing and how it changed my days. Every morning, before I turn on the TV or reach for my phone, I write down 4 simple things. 3 things I'm grateful for. 1 thing I'm going to stop worrying about today. That's it. No fancy journal. No perfect handwriting. Just a small notebook on the kitchen table and a quiet moment with my morning tea. Some days my list looks like this. I'm grateful for my warm bed. I'm grateful for the sound of birds outside my window. I'm grateful for my friend's phone call yesterday. Today, I'm letting go of worrying about what the scale says. Other days, it's deeper. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful that I live to see my grandchildren grow. I'm grateful that I can still take long walks. Today, I'm letting go of feeling guilty for resting. There's something powerful about putting it on paper. It's like your brain sees the thought and finally says, okay, I can stop holding on to that now. This 2-minute habit has helped me feel lighter, calmer, and more present. It's not that my problems disappear, but they stop taking over my entire day. I used to carry certain worries for years. Now, I can choose to release just one each day. It's not about ignoring real concerns. It's about giving your mind the same care and space you'd give a cluttered room. The truth is, we've been through a lot. We've loved, we've lost. We've pushed through things most people will never understand. And with all of that comes emotional clutter, layers of thoughts we've never fully processed, old beliefs we no longer need, and fears that don't serve us anymore. This is your invitation to gently let some of it go. You don't need to sort through everything all at once. Start with one thought, one fear, one self-criticism you're ready to release. And remember, you're not trying to perfect yourself. You're trying to free yourself. You're not too old to change how you feel. You're wise enough to know what no longer belongs. Mental decluttering doesn't require silence or isolation. It only requires presence and the willingness to pause and ask yourself, what am I carrying that I no longer need? Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do isn't to fix a problem. It's to stop letting it live rent-free in your mind. So take 2 minutes tomorrow morning. 3 things you're grateful for. 1 thing you'll release. Then close the notebook and move forward with your day. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for peace. And with just a few words on a page, you may begin to feel a little bit lighter, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Because a clear mind creates room for better thoughts, better choices, and a more peaceful life. 1 quiet morning at a time. 3. Simplify your routine. Make room for what matters. Let's talk about your daily routine, the structure of your life, hour by hour. And let's be honest, just because we have more time, after 60 doesn't mean we feel more peace. In fact, many of us feel just as busy as ever. The difference now is we're more tired and less fulfilled by the busyness. The truth is, not everything that fills your day is worth your time. And sometimes, we don't even notice how much we're doing on autopilot, habits we've carried for years, responsibilities we never questioned, and patterns that used to make sense but don't anymore. So let me ask you a simple question. Is your day serving you? Or are you just serving your day? That was a question I had to ask myself, too. I realized I was waking up with an invisible to-do list already on my shoulders. Make breakfast, answer emails, sort the mail, fold laundry, check in with this person, handle that thing for the neighbor, say yes to one more favor I didn't have the energy for. All of it seemed important, but most of it wasn't essential. And little by little, the joy got squeezed out of my day. So I decided to simplify my routine, not by doing nothing, but by doing what mattered most. Here's how I started. Choose 2 to 3 anchor habits. These are small rituals that give your day a steady rhythm, a sense of control, and even moments of joy. They don't have to be impressive or complicated. In fact, the simpler, the better. For me, those anchor habits look like this. A slow cup of tea in the morning, with no phone, no TV, just quiet. A 10-minute walk after lunch, even if it's just around the house. Reading or journaling for 15 minutes before bed. These moments are mine. They create bookends around my day, and they remind me that even on chaotic days, I still have control over how I begin and how I end. You don't need a color-coded planner or a strict schedule. You just need a few consistent things that feel good, ground you, and give your day meaning. Let go of the shoulds. One of the biggest burdens we carry, especially as we get older, is the constant pressure to do things out of habit, guilt, or obligation. I should call them back right away. I should accept that invite. I should keep the house spotless. I should be more productive. But what if you paused and asked yourself, do I really want or need to do this? Or am I just doing it because I always have? Once I gave myself permission to stop saying yes to everything, I found more space in my day than I thought possible. And in that space, I rediscovered what really matters. I started calling my sister more often, just to talk, not out of guilt. I sat down and finished a book I'd been meaning to read for 5 years. I found time to cook meals I enjoyed, not meals I rushed through. Simplify one decision at a time. Decision fatigue is real. Every day we ask ourselves, what should I wear? What should I eat? Should I go out or stay in? Do I need to answer that call? And those little choices repeated every day, can wear you down. So I started creating gentle routines that remove the need to decide everything. Every time, I laid out tomorrow's clothes the night before. I made a weekly meal list, just 5 or 6 simple meals I rotate. I gave myself permission to let the phone go to voicemail if I needed rest. These changes didn't make me less productive. They made me feel calmer, more in control, and more available for the things that actually matter. Routines should support your life, not dominate it. This stage of life is not about chasing more. It's about experiencing more peace, more presence, more connection. You don't need to overhaul your entire schedule. Just look at your day and ask, what am I doing out of habit that no longer serves me? Where can I replace obligation with intention? What 2 or 3 small habits would make today feel a little better? Start there. Because simplifying your routine isn't about doing less. It's about making room for more of what you love. Whether that's a quiet morning, a phone call that makes you laugh, or simply knowing you're no longer rushing through a life that deserves to be savored. After 60, you've earned the right to slow down on purpose. Not because you have to, but because it finally feels right. I didn't start simplifying because I had nothing to do. I started because I was burned out, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. After I retired, I expected to feel free. But instead, I felt stuck, trapped in routines, clutter, and expectations I didn't even question. My days were full, but they weren't fulfilling. It wasn't until I began letting go of old obligations and used stuff, and the pressure to stay busy, that I finally felt space in my life again. Not just in my home, but in my mind. Simplicity didn't come from having less to do. It came from choosing what mattered most, and giving myself permission to rest in it. Now, I wake up without that heavy, restless feeling. My home no longer overwhelms me. It feels like a sanctuary. My mind, quieter. And my days, they finally feel like they're mine again. Not just a list of things I have to get through. Simplifying didn't just clear my shelves or clean up my routine. It changed something deeper. It gave me permission to slow down, to breathe, to be present. I'm not chasing productivity anymore. I'm choosing peace. And in that peace, I've found energy, clarity, and a kind of freedom I didn't know I was missing. What's one thing, big or small, that you're ready to let go of today? A habit, a worry, a drawer full of stuff? Comment below. I read every single one, and your story might inspire someone else. And if this made you pause, breathe, or feel a little lighter, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more simple, meaningful changes after 60. Because it's never too late to create a life that feels good to wake up to.